Anybody have questions for Terry while we have him here for the next 5-10 minutes? Terry, would you share the deck with us?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can send you the deck. So, and a longer version of this, I think I already sent you a video, but I'll send you the deck, this particular deck, because I've changed things a bit. So,
Awesome.
and as I said, so as a mentor within the program, right? So if you guys want to start generating some formal hypotheses, writing them down, I'm willing to, virtually schedule a call and work with your team one-on-one about your hypotheses. So we can sort of go over a few of those.
Hey, Terry, just a real quick question. There's a lot of process that you have written up there, and obviously I've been through some of these courses. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been in a classroom. But I mean, obviously everything's a little different, but it sounds like the process of the hypothesis and the testing could take a long time. Long can be relative in the startup world, as you know. Any recommendations for that cycle? I mean, should it be done in a couple weeks, month? I mean, I don't think it would be taking 6 months to test early stage, market segments and solutions.
So market segments and solutions. Well, so it depends, right? If your market segment is like the government, it might take you 6 months because they don't decide anything that fast. But so you have to decide where it's going to go. So my recommendation is, again, if you make this list and you look at it from a risk point of view and a risk reward cost, right? That's the really way, right? The risk and rewards are, here's what I learned from this, but here's what it's going to cost me. Cost is a function of dollars and time, right? And you only have a limited amount of bandwidth in your team. So if we do this experiment, we can't do that one. And that really is sitting down and having a hard conversation about that and what you have to make a decision about. Lots of these you can get, if you design a good experiment on market size, you can get those depending on what your experiment needs and how you want it to get there, right? You might be able to get that in a couple of weeks, right? If you hit the bricks, right? We've done, some of the companies I work with, we've done 100 interviews in 4 weeks, right? And with our interviews were designed as part of our testing hypothesis. We probably tested 50 hypotheses in those 4 weeks, right? What's surprising is if your hypothesis is well formulated, as I said, you need to measure 20 or 30 to get a pretty good feel. But that doesn't mean, so we would test this multiple hypotheses in an interview, right? So we'd have a question. So if I sit down with somebody and my answers are, these are not the most objective, but they're subjective, there's still a good place to get going. You can measure those. And then some of the things like market size, right? Some of those are absolutely objective experiments. You go out and you get databases and you pull up how many people are in this demographic, right? How many of these, right? What are the sales for this customer, for this company last year? And then look at what that is. And then you relate that to your market data through the interviews, right? So we interview people, this many had bought that customer's product, this many thought we were there, and then I could use that to generate some estimates of sizes, right? So those are a combination of objective measurements plus subjective data that you use to derive some estimates of things, right? But again, estimating is not quite a hypothesis. The hypothesis, but a hypothesis, right? 30% of the people who bought this product would buy my product instead. That's a hypothesis you go out and test by, in this case, asking them if you can, right? Or even a landing page experiment lets you measure some of those. So design an experiment that allows you to ask in one interview or through one customer interaction as many things as you can. So one of the things I ended up cutting off, which I ran out of time, is that when you're building software, very often you augment the world to measure things that you don't actually need to know. Right? So if I ask the question, how long does somebody spend on my web page? I don't need to know that to have a functioning website, but it's really valuable information in terms of customer data, in terms of where are they spending their time? What was their flow through my website? I don't need that to have a functioning website. That's why, again, why it's not minimal. But I add that because that helps me understand where our customer is going, what is driving them to reach these decisions, right? And my hypothesis is that this is what was key to their decision-making process. If 30% of the people never even visit that page, then maybe it's not key to everyone's decision process, and I have something I'm missing that I want to go through. Okay, thanks everybody. As I said, so you should all have my email from the invite. If not, if I don't answer an email in 2 days, send it again. I have a very aggressive spam filter, which is actually where my invite to this meeting went.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hope you have a good day.
Okay, bye.